Mic check, mic check. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Put the word out, bro. I know it's been a minute. Don't really be much to talk about, but I'm taking a long little drive today, so I figured I'll ride with y'all on my way to Dallas. Y'all can keep me focused and alert along this long drive. So hit that like button, man. But most importantly, share the video, put the word out, let people know we live. We ain't been live in a minute. Because like I said, honestly, man, this hasn't really been anything worth talking about. You feel me? Boxing Monster was good, man. I'm on my way to Dallas for Terrence. Terrence got a baby shower, so I'm gonna slide through. What do you think of the Addison situation? What's going on, Timmy? What's going on, Guns? Cooper Cup, what's up with you? Like I said, man, hit the like button and share. Let people know we live, man. We're gonna be live for the next, at least the next hour and 30 minutes. This is about a 2-hour drive, so y'all gonna be with me for majority of this ride. We riding and vibing through Central Texas today. No, I ain't ETS, man. I just PCS. The Ford Hood, good old hood. Canelo by UD. Yeah. Me and Terrence might. I don't know if Terrence was gonna want to watch that or not. We might watch that. I got I got the Zone app. I don't know. I'm not really feeling. I'm not really feeling the. I'm not really feeling this fight. Not really feeling this fight. Yeah, man. I'm in the hood. I'm in the hood. What's up, Kusami? What's good, man? What's good, man? But let me see. Let me answer Timmy's question. So that's gonna be the format today. We just gonna talk random, random. I don't really have a topic, man. So we just talk about transfer portal stuff. If y'all want to get into that, the NIL situation seems to be. I don't know. I read on what is that freaking site called? Is it one on 3 1? I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They released something saying that the NCAA is about to implement some rules in regards to NIL. So that's coming down the pike here soon. Um, FSU continues to trim the fat, so to speak. We just had another guy. He can't hit the portal because the deadline. Well, the deadline for hitting the portal didn't. The deadline for hitting the portal stopped if you want to have eligibility for next year. But of course, you can still hit the portal. You just would have to sit out for the fall. But TJ Davis, whatever his name is medically disqualified. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. So just random questions is all good. Our Davies, Marcus Lewis in the building. Um, and as far as the Addison situation, like Timmy asked, Timmy said, "What do I think of it?" I think my initial reaction to the Addison situation was I was not a fan of the way it was being portrayed. I think there's more to it than with him losing. I believe his OC. I believe he lost his OC, his receiver coach, and of course he lost Kenny Pickett to the NFL. I think in that aspect, I can understand why he's in the portal. What got me kind of worried, or what I'm not a fan of, is I'm okay with you you hit the portal, and guess what? You go to the highest bidder. I understand the game. I understand that's how this thing's going to be played. Once you hit the portal, whoever can get you, and whoever's willing to pay is going to get you. My issue becomes teams trying to coerce, or whatever the word, teams reaching out to kids that aren't in the portal to be like, hey, man, you playing in Pitt. Why don't you come over here to LA? So my initial reaction to Addison was I didn't know he was in the portal before and took his name out of it. And because I don't watch or follow Pittsburgh football, I could care less. I also didn't know the situation regarding his coaching staff and all of that stuff. So I'm not as upset over the Addison situation that I was initially. By the way, let me know if the AC is too loud, like if it shouldn't be, as long as the sound's still good. But I wasn't a fan initially of the Addison. Now it's kind of like, okay, he's in the portal and he's going to go to the highest bidder. I still think USC kind of was like, hey, why don't you hop back in the portal? But there's a lot that says he probably would have went back to the portal anyway. But I do have an issue if we're going to enter this realm of, hey, not saying this to happen, but, hey, Alabama wants Robert Cooper, and they're like, hey, why play for Florida State? Come over here. And it's like, but Coop's the starter. Coop don't have no issues. But you're not going to not take Alabama's phone call. You feel me? If we're going to start doing that to where you can't even do that in professional sports. You can't contact players who are already on teams and tell them, demand a trade. That's called tampering and all this other stuff. Like, if we're going to start tampering in college football, I think we're headed down a dark road. But that's just my opinion, and a lot of people don't agree with me. I've read comments and articles. A lot of people don't agree with me. Some people do. I'm not a fan of but that's what NIL is. It's the wild, wild west right now. So, also, do remember I'm driving. So if I don't get to your comment, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. Kusami says, I was never a fan of NIL. The problem is what we have right now. The problem is that it's not NIL. I've said this from the jump. We use this NIL term as just this broad brush, right? To just brush everything that's happening. Oh, it's just NIL. And the truth is far from that. NIL stands for name, image, likeness. I keep preaching this. Name, image, likeness. I was always a fan of it because the Terrell Pryor situation should never have to happen. A kid should never have to get in trouble because he sold a couple of his jerseys or his memorabilia. Jameis Winston shouldn't have to spend 5-6 hours at a baseball game signing autographs and not get any compensation. I'm sure he did, but the point I'm making is that's what name, image, and likeness is. Profiting off your name, image, and likeness. What we have now is pay for play. That's what's happening right now is pay for play. Whether anybody wants to admit it or not, what you're seeing now is pay for play. That has nothing to do with name, image, and likeness. I ain't seen a commercial of any of these college kids yet that what business is using their name, image, and likeness. Where are the billboards, commercials? If this was name, image, and likeness, why these universities ain't struck a deal with EA Sports yet? The college football game is coming out next year, allegedly. Why every college football player should have some sort of, I don't know, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 deal with EA so they can be in the game. But it's not name, image, and likeness. It's pay for play. That's what you're seeing. So I'm for name, image, and likeness. The problem is this ain't name, image, and likeness. They're just using it as a cover word to simply say we're paying players, we're paying for play. So it is what it is. That's just what it is at this point. What's up, Todd Pope? He says, hit that like button, man. Thank you, Todd. And again, man, hit that share button. Share the video, put it out there. I did see that. I saw he signed a deal with Lamborghini. That's cool. I don't watch a lot of TV. How many Lamborghini commercials you see? You don't. Is he gonna be on? Again, are they gonna use his name, image, and likeness to promote Lamborghini? Lamborghini don't need his face to promote Lamborghini because it's a damn Lamborghini. Let's call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? Some Texas booster alumni works for that dealership and hooked them up. That's okay. Again, I'm okay with it, but let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. He don't have a deal with Lamborghini. He got a deal with the dealership in Austin, Texas. He's got a deal with that Lamborghini dealership that's in Austin, Texas, or wherever that dealership is. You think the CEO of Lamborghini knows who the hell he is? Hell no. They don't care. Half of college football fans don't know who that kid is. But you think Lamborghini's going to profit off of his name, image, and likeness? No. So I'm just going to be honest with you. Has anyone ever seen a Life Wallet commercial? Of course not. The only commercial I seen was DJ. Yeah, and that was a year ago. That was the only one. And guess what? DJ played so bad, you ain't never going to see him on a commercial again. You ain't never going to see him on a commercial again. Again, I ain't saying I'm mad at it. I'm just telling y'all that we doing pay for play right now, and it has nothing to do with name, image, and likeness. But that's just my opinion on it. College football is over. UT, TAMU, USC, and a few others will make it very hard for others. But I bet you've seen one before, no matter where you've seen it. What? I bet you've seen one before, no matter where you've seen it at. You've seen it. I'm not sure what Kilo talked about. He's talking about Lamborghini? I'm not sure what Kilo talking about. But yeah, man. I see y'all want to jump in the NIL conversation, because that is dominating the college game right now. And I'm interested to see what these NCAA regulations are on the NIL. I do think. So here's what I do think. I do think the NCAA is okay with certain teams getting away with stuff and other teams not. But this pay for play, I told y'all before, pay for play has existed for the last 50 years in college football. None of this stuff is new. School's been giving kids. Hell, the USC gave Reggie Bush family a house. If you think for one solitary second that Tua Tagovailoa's family came all the way from Hawaii to move to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and wasn't given a house by that university, i.e. a booster, which is still the university, but the universities are hiding behind the boosters. But you're naive. You're naive to the point where I really don't even want to talk to you. They moved from Hawaii to Tuscaloosa. You think for free? Come on, man. Schools have been doing pay for play for a long time. They're just allowed to cover it up with NIL now. And here we are. It's the same thing that we've been seeing for the last 50 years. It's just called a different name. But true name, image, and likeness isn't happening in college football. What you're seeing is just pay for play. It's just now the schools are able to do it in the open. In the open. So again, if I miss your comment, because I'm driving, I can't scroll back up and see everything. What's up, Jalen? He said, what else should we get out of the portal? O-line, and more O-line. I wouldn't mind a backer. But the portal kind of fizzled out here at the end. I think I don't know. I don't think there's anything in the portal that's really worth a damn. If I'm being honest with you, I think I heard Mike say they plan on adding 7 or plus more players. I don't know if he's counting the high school kids that's coming and enrolling in the summer, because I don't see where they adding 7 players. If the SEC is complaining about the NIL, they are going to be changes, because the SEC for the last 20 years of college football have been able to live off the revenue that network has made for them. But other schools now, and we'll use Miami as an example. They've got this truck is slinging garbage all over the freaking highway. They got this they got Ruiz, and he's willing to spend this new money that he's acquired, and he's probably rubbing people the wrong way. So I think that's one of the reasons why SEC schools are complaining. Miami swear up and down we hating on them when it comes to NIL. I don't think nobody's hating on them. Well, I won't say nobody. I think the problem with Miami is see, honestly, I think Ruiz is the reason why this stuff is happening. See, I'm gonna say this, and Miami fans won't like it, but I think it's the truth. Lil Wayne said it best: "Real G's move in silence." Like, Ruiz is talking so much and tweeting players and tweeting anybody who disagrees with anything he says that he's making himself the target. Bro, just shut up, move in silence, and spend the money, and you can put Miami back on the map. But now what you're doing is you're making yourself public enemy number one. So now you're making it so where, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna put in rules and regulations directly aimed at you, because you did this to yourself. That bravado and that brash shit, that's all cool, but for a businessman, you would think you would do business a little better, man. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think that's what it's aimed at, honestly, is him, and the way he's moving about, and the way he's conducting himself in a very arrogant way. I ain't saying I'm mad at it. I could care less, to be quite honest with you. But there are people that he's going to offend in that nature, and the people in power are going to make rules, and they're gonna try to limit what he can do. And one of the rules that I heard from the jump is boosters are not going to be allowed to tweet and talk to these players, and that's directly aimed at Ruiz. And if you don't think that, Miami fans, you're being naive. And if I were y'all, I know y'all are I know ain't no games been played, and I know y'all happy with what y'all got right now, but I would caution that dude, because he's putting a light on y'all that might not want. That's just my opinion. Where's Coach Jerg at? He's been silent since the predicted Mims. I was going to UM. He should be at. I should see him today. I'll slap him for you. Joshua, you wrote a pretty long comment. I'll try to get through it real quick. Always have been pay for play. Matter of fact, let me make it bigger. Always have been pay for play. Teams that had the best facilities and most expensive coaching staff always got the best players. Now the money is going directly to the players. Responding to that one guy about life wallet commercial. Let me catch up in the comments. All right. The only NIL Miami need to do is build a damn stadium. It will make the rivalry so much better. Ruiz is doing more recruiting than Mario. If Ruiz doesn't mention what he gave the basketball transfer, Wong never complains and threatens to leave. And it's an investment. Sometimes you take losses. So, Ardavius, your comment is interesting because I actually think in that aspect, what Miami does is smart, or what they're doing is smart. Um, I wish Florida State would do that. I wish Florida State would make these NIL deals public. What Ruiz is doing that isn't smart is the other stuff. Um, but making deals public, that's smart. And yeah, it might rub your current players the wrong way, but oh well, we got to set the market somewhere. But so if you want to attract kids to your team, you need to give these kids a ballpark of what they could possibly, you know, be making when they get to your team. So it was rumored. Again, I don't know how true this is. I don't know the exact numbers on what Amarius Mims was getting from his NIL deal with FSU, but it was rumored in the six-figure range. I believe it was like anywhere from 600K up was what Mims was going to sign on. But see, that's the issue. Why isn't that number out in the open? Why don't we know exactly what Mims was going to get in the public? FSU still conducting themselves like they have to be secretive about everything. No, put it out in the public. Hey, we offered Amarius Mims 700K through this organization. Anybody else want to come take this damn money? Like, why is Florida State not out in the public letting people know exactly what these NIL deals are that these kids are signing? Because that's how you market. That's how you put the information out. Florida State's being way too secretive for me. Like, we know Jordan Travis has an NIL deal, right? And we know some of the other guys. But nobody knows any exact figures of any of the Florida State players. And I feel like that's I feel like that's unfortunate. They're not moving in a smart way, in my opinion. So let it be known. Let it be known what you offering these kids. How you feel about Land going into the portal and then going back to FAMU, bro? You knew you wasn't leaving. I think Kobe Gross with the fan is going to FAMU too, but I don't pay too much attention about the FAMU players going to the portal. Ruiz is doing this for or Ruiz is not doing this for or the players. Um, he's doing it for himself. He's just bragging on Twitter. He definitely seems to be getting more of a kick out of it than anybody else. Like, we know Texas and USC and these other schools got money. I ain't seen a Texas booster. And again, I get it. It fits Miami, but sometimes that's just not a smart way to move. Just not a smart way to move. Rose says 700K. Yeah, I know. That was like the rumor number, but again, that's still a rumor number. They never came out and officially announced how much Mims was going for. So, until Florida State should start moving in a more loud way, in my opinion. That's Land went back to FAM after Alabama and Georgia offered him, and then Marcus, even HBCUs have to recruit their own players for 4 years now. Well, especially if they prove that they're, a little bit above the HBCU talent level. Absolutely. I see. Here, let me address this comment because he's been talking and talking. So let's talk. No one said you didn't want. No one said that. Like you're taking the point that's being made and you're asking an irrelevant question. I said he's moving stupid. I didn't say he wasn't doing good things, quote unquote. Like I'm not saying that he's not making moves and people aren't paying attention. I just think he's putting too much attention on himself and the university. So when these rules come down, they're going to be targeted strictly at, like you putting a microscope on yourself is never a good thing. USC striking deals. They offered Addison $3 million in a house from what being allegedly reported. I don't see not one USC booster on social media tweeting at people and arguing back and forth. I ain't seen one Texas booster talking about his Lamborghini ties and tweeting back. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying whether Ruiz is good, bad. That's irrelevant. He's got money. He's willing to spend it. Shout out to him. But he's moving like a novice. It's crazy to say that about a billionaire. But he's moving like, somebody who ain't never had nothing before. Now he got it now. You know that guy who ain't never had nothing, and all of a sudden he get a little new pair of shoes or something. The boy wear them same Air Force Ones every day for the next 3 months, and now they yellow. But he ain't never had none before, so he proud of what he do got, so he gonna flex it. That's how Ruiz is really moving now, in my opinion. He's being a little bit too boastful, and he's getting the attention of the wrong people. But again, that's just my opinion. What's up, Chad? Nobody said it. He made up something. He made up something. Ruiz hasn't done anything except throw money around. But ultimately, that's all he needs. He just needs to throw money around. At the end of the day, it's gonna be up to Mario Cristobal whether he gonna put a product on the field that's actually gonna get the job done. But it don't hurt to have somebody that's just willing to throw money at the problem. Believe me, it don't hurt. It do not hurt. I'd rather have one of the Texas boosters billionaires than Ruiz. You'd rather have somebody that moves covertly. That's my opinion. And then welcome to Texas, POLK. I'm from Pensacola and currently reside in I ain't even going to try to pronounce it, but I know what you're talking about because I've seen the signs before. And enjoy your stay. I mean, I've been here before, man. This ain't my first rodeo in Texas. Matter of fact, I've been here. I've lived a total of like about over 8 years in Texas. Like over 8 years I've been in Texas, off and on. So I've been around before. Yeah, man. I mean, Miami fans, they won't admit that. And I know it's all fun and games right now. But, Ruiz acting like him and his son. They're acting like, they're acting like people that ain't never had nothing before. But I get it. They're excited. They're in this college football game. And right now, college football is the wild, wild west. And I'm sure they're excited to be a part of it. And I get it. See that Texas and USC and Texas A&M, those are old money boosters right there. They've been a part of this. They've been putting money in these programs for a long time. They don't have to flex for social media. Hell, half of them probably ain't got a social media. Them programs have put their money where their mouth is for years now. So, I get it. I'd rather have Nine Toe and Slick talk Philly. What up? Art Davis says, has our fan base ever been more split over Norvell? A lot of fans want to keep him if he can only win 6 games. All right, let me get to Ardavius. Let's talk. Y'all want to talk some Mike Norvell? What do y'all want? Y'all want to talk some Mike Norvell? Or y'all want to talk? Because Timmy's got a question about which offensive tackle would I want out of the portal. And frankly, I don't. What I want. Excuse me. What I want the South Carolina kid, yeah. I don't want the Charlotte kid. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That dude they talk about out of Charlotte. Look, no offense to him, he don't fit or he don't fulfill any needs. He don't fulfill any. He's 6'2", 300 pounds. What needs is he fulfilling for us? We gonna play center for us? Thought we had that already. Gonna play guard? I think we can find. I think we good in the interior of the offensive line. But the kid out of South Carolina, I mean, he's 6'7", 330. I think he started majority of their games last year. I'll take him. I'll take him. I'll take him. But anyway, all right, let's talk Mike, man. Last time I came on here, I told y'all that I kind of turned the corner on Mike Norvell. And I'm starting to believe that this job is too big for him. And what mainly is getting me there is the recruiting aspect of it. I think Mike Norvell's a nice guy. I think kids like him. I don't think Mike Norvell has any killer instinct on the recruiting trail. I don't think Mike Norvell can get a kid to, lock it down. I mean, Florida State had Amarius Mims, and listen, I understand there were certain things that happened in Amarius Mims that were above anybody's control. I get it. But I said it before. Amarius Mims is just one example. And if you want to throw that one out, you can. But I can name a ton of other guys. But I don't understand how you have Amarius Mims on campus for 3 days and you don't get that commitment. I don't get it. I don't get it. So for me, I think Mike Norvell would be a great coach at Virginia or Virginia Tech. Hell, NC State, Louisville, any middle tier ACC team, I think he'd actually be a pretty decent head coach. Very limited expectations for those programs. They're going to give you time to recruit your guys, take your 3-4 years to develop them, and every 4 years, you might compete for the ACC title. But he ain't at no middle of the pack, middle tier program. And if you just look at how he's recruiting, I'm not saying they haven't signed any good players. We have. Where's the program changer, though? And so, Ardavius mentioned 6 wins. The only thing that'll make me turn the corner on Mike at this point and go back is if he was I tell you what, I'll say it right here, right now. As of May, what is it, May 7th? What do we get? What is it, May 7th? Something like that? As of May 7th, 2022, if Mike Norvell he ain't got to even win it. If he can play for the ACC title, I'll say, okay, maybe he's the right coach for this job. And see, I don't believe I don't believe that I'm putting any kind of crazy expectations on him personally. He's in year 3. Do we really need to go over the same? Can we go over the coaches in his same, let's say, class? That COVID year, the Lane Kiffins, and I don't remember all of their names, but I know the programs. But Lane Kiffin, Dave and Rhonda at Baylor, buddy up at Michigan State. Hell, even Arkansas. Let's go check out what Arkansas is doing. All of those programs that COVID year were terrible. The team that had the best record was Ole Miss out of all those programs, and we're going to include our program into this discussion. They won 5. Everybody else won 4 or less games. But here's the shocking stat. In year 2, every single one of those programs, with the exception of Mike Norvell and Florida State, won 9+ games. Every single one of those programs, with the exception of Florida State, won 9+ games. Yep, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Michigan State, and Baylor. All second-year head coaches. They all found a way to win 9+ games. Florida State found a way to win 5. Okay, cool. We can sit here and say Mike Norvell had different circumstances. All right, you want to make that excuse? Let's rock with it. We'll make the excuse. What's his excuse for year 3? Because if we're going off of that, in year 3, I don't know how any Florida State fan, keyword Florida State fan, can sit here. If you're a Mike Norvell fan, then I get it. You're gonna set the bar low so he can achieve his goal. But any real Florida State fan cannot look at year 3 when you look at what else is going wrong around the country and say 6 wins is acceptable. 7 wins isn't acceptable in my opinion. The man started 0-4 last year. If you think 6 wins is acceptable, I don't even know what to say. You want to make a fan out of me, Mike? Play for the ACC title. Play for the ACC title. Now, I do want to say this. I'm not calling for Mike's job because I believe we need the stability and we need a placeholder while that football-only facility breaks ground, while everything else that comes around the program comes to fruition. Unfortunately, we need a guy that just to hold that spot. Because all the stuff that's coming in the next 3 or 4 years will make this job more desirable so that we can go out and hire a big name coach. It makes no sense to call for Mike Norvell's job right now, and we're hiring another Mike Norvell this time next year. That makes no sense in my opinion. So for me, let Mike Norvell coach the next 2 years or whatever it is, unless he has some disaster of a season that is unexcusable. But if he's going to tread water and be a 7-6 win team, hopefully he can get us to some bowl games. Like if he can get us on the positive side of the record, have a plus 500 record the next few years. A part of me says, you know what? Get the program stable and then go out and try to land a big fish. But it doesn't make no sense to set us back again by firing him again. But that's just me, though. That's just me. So I'm not calling for his job. I just don't believe he's the guy for this job. Not long term. I don't believe he's the guy that gets Florida State back to where they want to be. Because he hasn't shown me it at all. We talking Mike Norvell. Okay, when we talk any college football coach, you either got to be an extremely good head coach, X's and O's wise, or you at least need to be a killer on the trail, right? So Dabo Swinney, we'll use him for an example. always sucked as an X's and O's coach, in my opinion. But you can never knock his recruiting. Dabo could always recruit. He could always recruit. And he was able to recruit well enough that when he finally was able to address the coaching situation around him, hire the right coordinators, that Clemson thing took off. Now, your elite coaches can do both, coach and recruit, right? But what I'm saying is, how can we defend Mike Norvell when he's a mediocre recruiter? And don't tell me he's a good head coach, because a good head coach don't lose to Jacksonville State on a last-minute Hail Mary where you call a cover one defense. A good coach don't do that. A good coach doesn't fumble your quarterback situation for 2 years straight. So he's a mediocre X's and O's coach, and he's a mediocre recruiter. But what do I know? And again, if you say anything differently, I would love for you to show me. You know, I get it. Like, if you want to defend Mike, I got it. But you're going to have to show facts, not your opinion. Because the facts on the field says Mike has won 8 games in 2 years. The facts on the field say Mike has recruited, I think if you average it out, like a 20-something recruiting class. So, again, that's mediocre. That's not FSU quality. FSU should be at least in the top 15 of recruiting every single year. So you're going to have to show me where Mike Norvell isn't mediocre across the board. Let's see what the comments are saying a little bit. Facts. Give Norvell at least 4 to 5 years. I thought 6 wins was unacceptable when we fired Taggart. Now it is Norvell. Man, we are one goalpost moving fan base. Well, the FSU fan base is in again, I've talked about this before, Till Dog. Like, there's 3 different types of FSU fans. There's FSU fans. There's Willie Taggart fans still. Believe it or not, they're still lingering. And then there's Mike Norvell fans. Unfortunately, man, that's just the way this is right now. Eric Sutton says Mike isn't over his head, period. 6 win is very unacceptable. Real talk, Rose. Facts, Polk, cover 2 spy. There you go. Tell them what they was. Polk stayed hating. Look what Miami did. This is Timmy. He says, which was they ride out Diaz until 4 years. Then they unfortunately they made a splash hire with Cristobal because they waited it out. I want to know why we only scored 17 points in that Jacksonville State game. Forget the Hail Mary play. Let's face it, Mike Norvell fell into a good situation at Memphis and happened to get a good QB from Arizona State to transfer. And remember, the year he finally won the conference, they didn't play UCF. Jeffrey Bell was good with you. So, y'all wanted gain nothing from firing him right now. Allow that football-only facility to be built. Allow just roster. I mean, just from a roster standpoint, you see. I mean, you can see with 2 years of Mike, if nothing else, you at least see the stability in the roster in terms of starting to get those guys who should have never even been recruited here. Your Eubankses, your Kobe Grosses, your TJ Davises. Those guys should have never been offered scholarships here. They're starting to get those guys off the roster. So roster stability is important. Of course, everything surrounding the football program is important. Get those things under control and then get Mike up out of here. As of right now, there's no need to call for his job because you're just going to start from square one again. Um, they're not going to fire him um, after 2 years of mediocrity. Who said Cristobal is a splash hire? Timmy thinks so. Timmy thinks so. The only thing I'll say about Cristobal, I've already criticized Cristobal enough. From a coaching standpoint, I don't see the hoopla. But I will say this: he fits the Miami culture, and sometimes that's a great thing. You're gonna need a guy that fits what you do. Cristobal fits in there. That is obviously home, and that alone is gonna have kids saying, "Hey, I'm gonna look twice and 3 and 4 times at Miami just because they got a guy that fits." And sometimes that's all you need. So it's going to be interesting with Mario. Can he beat North Carolina? Again, you look at Oregon. He had the most talented team in the Pac-12, and he lost games to Stanford. He lost games he shouldn't have lost. Got drugged by Utah twice. Looks like I hit some traffic, which is good because I can catch up in the comments. Does he do those things at Miami? I mean, I'm gonna be interested to see Miami fans after they lose to North Carolina, after they get upset by Virginia Tech, because then that's gonna really be the honeymoon phase. We know how that goes. Florida State done been there in the honeymoon phase. Miami's still there because ain't a game been played yet, but we know how that thing plays out, and they will face some adversity. The fact that Miami really thinks they finna come in here and go 11-1 or 10-2 year one is very funny to me. FSU should have spent the money after getting rid of Willie and got a legit coach. Well, you dropped the ball the first hire. That's the problem, Chad. And I hate to say this because I was excited like everybody else for Taggart. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew all along Tyler Taggart was going to be trash. I had questions about Taggart's resume. And if you really look at what he did at USF, they didn't get good till Flowers became their quarterback. If we just keep questions about Taggart. Can y'all hear me now? My back kind of blacked out for a second. Then we're back. If we're gonna call a spade, we had an athletic director that looked out for Willie. The brother looked out for another brother, and he said, "I'm gonna give you this job." And then he dipped. He left right after that. And if FSU was smart, they would have. When FSU was at it, that's when FSU was at its pinnacle in terms of that roster. Remember that roster that Willie Taggart had: Cam Akers, Brian Burton, Landon Dickerson. Bro, we can go on and on about that roster that Florida State had at that point. Okay, they dropped the ball with the first hire. Had they done their due diligence and then rushed to hire a guy in Willie Taggart, who nobody else was looking to hire, and went out and got Lane Kiffin or somebody like that, we would not be in the predicament that we're in right now. They did what they did. They dropped the ball after the first hire. That thing spiraled out of control. By the time it was time to hire Mike Norvell, they had no suitors. Nobody wanted to come and take over that mess. So, Florida State, they did a bad job. They did a bad job. Can someone answer this for me? What does Mike excel at? I just said he was a mediocre coach across the board. Mediocre coach, man. I agree. 6 wins is not going to cut it this season. Shouldn't cut it any season. period. Seems white coaches get the benefit of the doubt, and us, we have to win right away. Sad. Hit the like button. Bring in transfers. Not a Tag fan, but my eyes do work. Starting on 4 was horrific, Mike Norvell, but I will say he did turn things around the second half of the season. So I will give my verdict on Mike Norvell this year. I hear you, Panama, and you know what? I'm not gonna say you're wrong. But here's the question I ask. If you start a fire, if you're the cause of a fire that burns half of your house down, but you put out the fire, what did you really accomplish? Should you get praised because you put out the fire, or should you get the blame because you started it? That's the $1 million question. So whatever side of the fence you take there, that's your preference. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, because I don't know if there is a right or wrong answer. But should you be blamed for starting the fire, or praised because you put the fire out? That's the question I would ask. We gonna blame them for starting 0-4, or we gonna praise them because we finished the season in a somewhat positive note, even though we couldn't finish off with the win against the Gators? That's the $1 million question I'll ask you guys. I agree 1,000%. Say the football only facility is built by the end of next season, 23, and Mike wins 8 games next year. You think you can make moves then? Tag contract ends January 24. What's up, Tony? How you doing, bro? But again, for me, man, Mike play for the ACC championship, and then Mike can play for the ACC title. Then I'll come around. Mario is a great head coach. Okay. Yeah, y'all put money on that last year too, and how did that play? I don't even want to make this Miami discussion, but I will ask you a question. I do want to ask like a football question. I don't even want your opinion. I want to ask you a legit football question here. What type of offense are you running? And do you think that TVD, a quarterback who played in a very pass-heavy offense under Lashley, really air raid type offense, and now he's getting into a system where, first of all, Mario likes to run the ball more than he likes to throw it. Go watch Michigan. That's what they did, and run the ball. Again, just a football question. And another year of tape. What do you expect from Tyler Van Dyke in, what is this, year 2 of him being a starter? What do you really expect from him? Or you think he's just going to pick up where he took off without any hiccups? Complete system change, complete different philosophy of football for TVD. I'll be very interested in your answer on this question. Hey, man, I'm trying to tell you. If FSU has another season like it did last year, I would say it's time to move on from Mike. Nope, I say keep him. Again, who you gonna hire? You want to start over again? You move on from Mike. Now you're starting over from square one. Because guess what? Transfer portal's a real thing. This ain't like it used to be. You move on from Mike. AJ Duffy probably out of here. You Sam McCall, all the little young talent that you're so excited about, they're going to transfer right along with Mike. Now you're building this roster again from the ground up. So for the third time in what would that make? 5 or 6 years? Or no, for the fourth time in 5, 6, 7 years, you got a new head coach starting from the ground. Nope. Unless Mike goes straight defeated this year or wins 2 or 3 games, you keep him on board and you just ride it. You just ride out the wave again until you can make this job attractive again. But ain't nobody taking this job with firing him again. That's what I was just saying, Timmy, before I saw your comment. That's what I was just saying. Fire Mike if you want to. All this young talent that we are excited about, good luck. Hey, shout out to New King God, man. I love your enthusiasm. I wish Florida State fans had more of it. Your delusion is what it is, but I love your enthusiasm. I saw teams that played to the level of the opponents. For me, I got to see that improve to wins this year. Mike Norvell can kick rocks. Just coasting. Y'all killing me with these long ass comments. I can't read all the long comments, y'all. I'm trying though. Some of them look like it's actually, y'all saying some good stuff. What up, Firewater? How you doing? Miami's schedule is weak this year. So that's the one thing that I do agree with. They definitely have a weak schedule. Not a lot of tough games, but, upsets happen. See, that you're not answering my question. You're assuming that you know Mario Cristobal. So you say Mario does like to run the ball, but he also understands. How the hell do you know what Mario Cristobal understands? You ain't Mario Cristobal. Let's just talk football and stop pretending like you a damn psychic and you can read Mario's mind. You don't know what he understands, nor have you seen an offense with Mario Cristobal or Gaddis run a high-powered spread, pass the ball offense in their coaching careers. So let's just go with the facts and let's not make the assumptions. I wouldn't call it free here. I mean, what do you call free? Again, I would just ask a question like, so for the people that want to fire Mike, I'm going to ask the chat a question. For the people that want to fire him, I mean, what do we gain by firing? Again, I'm not vouching for Mike Norvell. Do not get it twisted. I have already come out and said I do not believe he is the right head coach for this job. I do not believe he gets Florida State where we need/want to be. Okay, let me be very clear on that. He's mediocre at everything. He's mediocre at coaching, he's mediocre at recruiting, and that ain't what we need. But I also believe two things can be true, and that we don't need to fire him because that puts this program back another notch. So my question is, what do we have to gain by firing Mike Norvell? And why would any coach at their FSU fire Willie after a year and a half and firing Mike after 3? Why would any coach come to Florida State and think that they have any type of job security here? What do we gain by firing Mike Norvell? That's my biggest question. Well, y'all really got to stop using Bama as your benchmark for these coaches. You do understand that Nick Saban has a damn unlimited cycle of coaches. Like, come on. Y'all got to stop using Bama as the example of everything. Nick Saban has a Terminator at Alabama. He has an unstoppable machine that doesn't matter what coach he plugs into the system, the job's going to get done. Stop it. I know. Bro, New King ain't new here, and I'm not new to him. I know exactly what his angle is. I know how he operates. But I'm on a 2-3 hour drive right now. Actually, I got about an hour left on. Man, we've been on an hour. So I got about an hour left on this drive. It's entertaining. Gain nothing really except another setback, unfortunately. There you go. Hope, what do you think about that linebacker from Washington State that's in the portal? I have no idea who that is, Timmy, but I can look him up. I mean, since you know who he is, what do you think about him? I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking. Where is he from? Any Florida connections or? I agree. Mike Norvell needs to be a placeholder until a great coach is available and locked. We gain nothing. Hey, we out here, boy. I'm on the way. The Realist FSU channel out here. Appreciate that, Rose. I'm out on Norvell. I am interested to see what the offense looks like after Jordan Travis. I agree with you there, Firewater. I actually agree with that. I am very interested to see what the offense would look like with Duffy at the helm. Saban can so get just about any coach he wants to come and coach for him. How much money we throwing at Aranda? hey, as much as he wants, I'm with you, bro. Y'all know Aranda's my first choice. Stoops would be my second choice. I've been saying this for a while now. I believe Florida State needs to go with a defensive identity after Mike Norvell is gone. I believe we need to go defensive identity, and Aranda and Stoops would be my two first choices. If you can't get either one of them, we can stay with the offense, but it's got to be, I'm not saying we would get Lane Kiffin, even though I think you could pull Lane Kiffin from Ole Miss if you wanted to. But it had to be a Lane Kiffin-esque type coach. That's what I'm saying. You can't, Till Dog. That's what I'm saying. You can't keep firing coaches and expect coaches to want to coach for your program. Can't do that. At least if you let Mike Norvell finish it out. And I know what people are saying. Well, we didn't give Willie Taggart that time. Well, guess what? Unfortunately, it happened. We can't go back in history and reverse it. Was it, it was messed up to a certain degree when it happened. We didn't give Willie the time. Oh, well. But I'm looking at the bigger picture, not just about what's fair and unfair, because damn it, life ain't fair, and it never has been. The bigger picture is the program, and it just makes more sense to keep Mike, even if he's only winning 6-7 games a year. Like I said, at least get us to a bowl game, at least get 6-7 games a year. Maybe if we're lucky, we get an 8. And can he keep us in the top 20 in recruiting? So at least the next coach comes in, has a solid roster, new football-only facility that he can pitch and sell. A new commitment to football, those type of things. I think once Parsons comes in, he will be a better QB out of him and Duffy. I got to see more to say that. I don't know, and I'm not saying you're doing this, Timmy, but I don't know why, we just be so quick to, always look to the next thing. AJW is going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I'm good on Mike Gundy, bro. You can keep Mike Gundy. I don't want Gundy. No, I agree. And those are my two guys. Those are my two top guys, Aranda and Stoops. Both defensive masterminds. And quite frankly, what Stoops has been able to do at a school like Kentucky, I don't know why people sleep on him as much as they do. Can't do it too soon, but you think 24 or 25 would be better time to replace Mike if you only win 7 to 8 games? Whenever his contract expires. Look, you don't gotta fire him. Mike's contract probably expires in 24 or 25. By then, the football only facility should be up and running. This NIL stuff, we hopefully Florida State is figured. By then you figure it out who's really running shop here on the NIL tip, and you ain't got to fire him. You just let his contract expire. Wish Mike on his best way. This way, it's a good look. You gave him time, gave him a chance, and the next guy's gonna come in. There will be some talent on that team that he can work with. The next guy can come in and he can go from there. No to Stoops. Aranda is the guy. I think either guy would be either guy better than what we got. If you say no to Stoops, I'd be curious to know why, though, Ardavius. So, Boxing Monster, I know you were being funny, but I'm gonna say this, and yeah, I'm about to go there because y'all know me. When I wasn't anti-Deion head coach. I was anti-Deion head coach at Florida State. But I'm gonna be honest with you. In 2024, 2025, my first 2 picks would be Aranda and Stoops. But I would not rule out Deion Sanders as that third option if you couldn't get either of those guys. And I might even say Deion might be my second choice. And I'm gonna tell you why. The game of football is changing. NIL has changed everything. There's not a better head coach probably in the NIL era than what Deion. Mike can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. It doesn't matter. Deion brings the spotlight. Deion Sanders is going to bring all that. You see, it's amazing actually what he's done for Jackson State in this short amount of time. If you look at what that program is morphing into under him, it's actually very incredible. Deion Sanders, do not dismiss Deion. I am not dismissing him anymore. I did at first. But that was the old school thought process. I'm telling you right now, 24, 25, Deion Sanders is a legitimate option. He can hire great offensive, defensive coordinators and position coaches. All I need Deion to be is the figurehead of Florida State football, CEO, biggest dude in college football, this man's got Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter taking private jets places, and they're at Jackson State. Imagine what he could do back to the brand of Florida State if we got him here. I know some people might not like that, especially if you're a little bit more of the traditional coach. But just like I turned the corner on Mike for the downward, I'm turning the corner on Deion, guys. You can't deny what he's doing. You can't deny anymore what he's doing at Jackson State. The only reservation I have for Deion, the only one at this point, is how much longer is he really going to do this? I don't know how much Deion's really invested. Deion's already 54 years old, I believe. And 24, 25, we're talking he's, 56, 57? Is Deion Sanders really going to coach another 10? Do we really see Deion coaching until he's 64, till he's almost 70 years old? That'd be the only reservation I have for Deion right now is how long is he really going to coach? Or are we only getting Deion for 3 or 4 years? That'd be the only reservation. But everything else, I ain't going to lie to you. You can't deny results. You might not like it, but you can't deny results. Catch up in the comments. Let's not forget Stoops built that defense. Y'all know me. I've been preaching that. I've been preaching that. I mean, we laugh in Firewater, but let's really have a conversation about it, though. Seriously, let's have a conversation about it, though. Because I was anti-Deion at one point, too, but let's really talk about it. Let's put it all on the table. Let's just talk from a football standpoint. Let's talk from the NIL standpoint of college football. Let's really talk about it. And tell me that it's so far-fetched at this point. Again, we could say it's all about him. But I'm watching Travis Hunter, Kevin Coleman, and Shedeur Sanders. They taking private jets and being featured on Barstool Sports. We can say it's all about him, but you got to understand, if you 30 plus like me, you got to understand that these kids are different nowadays. There's a reason why these kids want to play for him. These kids care about flash. And I'm not saying Deion doesn't have any substance, but these kids care about the flash, man. These kids want to say, man, I'm playing for prime time. I'm doing something different. At the end of the day, you need the kids to win football games, whether you like that or not. These kids don't care about the things that maybe we used to care about. These kids want to get on Instagram and flex that they in the same building as Deion Sanders. And then if you get Deion Sanders back to Florida State, how many other Florida State alumni coming back with Deion Sanders? Now all of a sudden you in the locker room, you got Deion, Jalen, Derwin James all in the same, like in the same locker room, on Instagram. Like that's what might not click for us. You feel me? Like that might not be what we like, but that's what the kids like. That's what the kids like. What up, Tyler? Man, I've been around. It's just there really ain't been nothing to talk about. Ain't been nothing really to talk about. But we talking today. Hit that like button, man. If y'all ain't hit the like button. Appreciate those people that have been, they've been riding with me. I'm on my way to Dallas. Somebody said, how would Prime prep? It wouldn't. Why would it? Has it affected anything he's done at Jackson State? Nobody give a damn about what happened with Prime prep. It wouldn't. No one cares. I hear you. Give me a real coach. Well, we can say we want a real coach. All I know is Primetime done beat out Mike Norvell for Kevin Coleman and Travis Hunter. Mike Norvell's supposed to be a real coach. Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm 50 and a longtime FSU fan and never thought I'd see FSU talking about 6-7 wins. Private jets don't win games. No, they don't win games, but they get you players, and the players win games. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? You can say private planes don't win games, but JSU is probably going to lose at most 1 or 2 games in this upcoming season. They're going to continue to snatch a couple D1 kids on the recruiting trail. I ain't saying private plane wins your football games, but if they get you the elite prospect, you know what else don't win your football games? Going 5-7. Speeches about climbing, embrace the climb, or whatever the hell. That don't win your football games either, apparently. So, what are we doing? What are we doing? You private planes, climb. Which one we want? I don't know. Y'all tell me. What up, Zoe? Always wanted Deion because I saw what the world was heading. After we put Trump in office, I knew that is when we need a celebrity. But real talk though, like again, if you still anti-Deion, I got it. You want a real coach. If you don't think this NIL era of college football is going to play a part in the type of coaching you're going to have, you're delusional. And who's better than Deion for the NIL era? Like, please let me know who's better than Deion Sanders for the NIL era. Do you think anybody is going to get hit with NIL regulations? No. How you gonna penalize people for rules that weren't in place? No. Even if the NCAA tried, good luck trying to substantiate any of your evidence. No, I don't believe so. I believe it's a scare tactic that's not really going to regulate anything. I'll tell you this, if Deion does come, we won't miss any. That's where it all starts, Ardavius. That's my point. Like, if you can acknowledge that, bro, the rest can take care of itself. Because again, what we doing? We private jets or we climbing? Because Mike Norvell ain't pulling no local talent. I guarantee you get Deion Sanders. The Florida kids stay in Florida. The South Georgia kids probably come along too. Mike ain't pulling none of that. You want to play for Mike or you want to play for Kirby Smart? Oh, that's an easy choice. You want to play for Deion or you want to play for Kirby? That's a tougher choice. And Deion's off-field connections, man, the NIL will go crazy in Tallahassee. I'll be shocked if any NIL sanctions get handed down ever. Y'all have to punish everybody. Again, I don't think it's ever going to happen either. It's not about necessarily coming from a G5 school. Urban Meyer came from Utah, straight to Florida, and won a national championship. So that's just stupid arguments that stupid fans make about, oh, he coming from a G5 school. I want to do it from the SEC. That's stupid stuff. People forget where Urban came from, you know? And most coaches got their starts at lower tier schools. Urban Meyer, I believe, went from Bowling Green to Utah to Florida. If we're using that logic, Urban Meyer should have never got the job. So I don't care about necessarily G5. If you can coach, you can coach. I would ask, what on Mike's resume ever showed that he deserved the job? It's got nothing, not so much to do about the level of coaching that he was previously at. Urban Meyer won a lot of games at Utah, won a lot of games at Bowling Green. Lincoln Riley better than who? Bro, we can say that. You can say that about a bunch of prospects, man. Don't do that. Because Ja'Kai Douglas undersized and may not ever pan out either. You can say that about damn near any prospect. Whether Kevin Coleman's undersized, Travis Hunter's a little smaller than we originally thought. Those all might be facts. But I can say that about a lot of dudes on FSU's roster. Right. He would have to fill out the, let's be clear, he would have to fill out the coaching staff. But does anybody believe Deion would have a problem hiring people? Serious question. Anybody believe Deion Sanders have a problem hiring coordinators and position coaches? Would you take whoever Deion would hire or Adam Fuller as your defensive coordinator? Ooh, I just asked a serious question right there. Whoever Deion will hire or Adam Fuller? Yeah, I think I know the answer to that. Right. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. It's not just Mike or Dion. There are so many coaches out there. Oh, I know. I already said Aranda, Stoops, first two choices. I simply said that we got to stop ruling out Dion. Aranda's still my first choice. But Stoops and Dion, that might be an argument for second choice for me. But if it's not a legit coach, we either got to go legit Power 5 level coach, or we got to go a gimmick coach, but a real gimmick. Dion, in a lot of ways, is a gimmick coach, but the gimmick is real. The star power is real. The money behind it is real. Again, if you just don't want to acknowledge it because I don't know, you don't like him, you don't like Dion for some reason, but if you don't look at what JSU has became in his time there, they've redone their facilities, like their stuff is starting to look like some of these Power 5, these Division 1 colleges. The impact of Deion Sanders is real. I don't know why we're in such denial about it. It's like we don't want to be wrong. Deion's impact is real, y'all. There you go. There's a bunch of coaches that started in the group of 5. What up, Noel Power? You think Deion's first year would go well? Well, it depends. It depends, like I said, not if you fire Mike Norvell immediately. Deion Sanders is going to take over a stable program. I think his first year will be fine. I think his first year will be fine. So, I don't know, man. We're just in denial about Dion. But again, Aranda's my first choice. But I want to circle back again. We should not fire Mike Norvell yet. Not because I want to keep him. Not because I think he's the future. None of that. I'm done with Mike. After the Marius Mims saga, I'm done with Mike. And it wasn't just the Marius Mims. There was a lot of things that culminated to that point for me. But I've seen with my own 2 eyes that Mike Norvell cannot close on a recruiting trail. He is not the guy that we need as a recruiter at Florida State. He cannot lock up. He's lost too many program-changing guys on the trail for me to believe that he's the guy here. Okay? But he's a placeholder coach who I believe could be good enough, I guess, to get this program to a stable position, roster-wise and facility-wise, and everything that comes with the football program, from this roster to the facilities around it. You keep Mike intact, unless he just has a disaster year 3. When I say disaster, he goes 3, he wins, 3-4 games, something crazy like that. Then I think you gotta get rid of him. But if he's just treading water, he goes 6 games or 7 games, man, keep Mike around, get everything in place around it, and then cut bait. Don't fire Mike all right now. So that's just me, man. Dion should be able to rival Bama UJ recruiting. I do truly believe that. Dion is not the answer to FSU's problems. And fans would be calling for his head like they did Taggart and Norvell. Well, it's your opinion. I'm not saying he's the answer either. But You can't convince me that he's any worse than any other coaching candidate out of state. Again, all I ask, if you want to be anti-Deion Sanders, that's fine. But if you can't give me a valid reason why Deion Sanders wouldn't work at Florida State, you just hate. You just hate. Because I'm giving you valid reasons. Because I was originally not on the Deion bandwagon either, but I'm giving you valid reasons of why NIL has changed the landscape of college football, and everything that Deion brings with him completely coincides with the NIL landscape of college football. Give me 3 valid reasons why Deion Sanders wouldn't work. If FSU wants to hire Deion and it went wrong, it'd be 10 times worse than Taggart. High risk. I don't necessarily agree with that. Bruh, half of y'all FSU fans hate Deion already because of what happened with Travis Hunter. Like, if we keeping it real, there's a bunch of FSU fans. Some of y'all might be in this chat, but there's a bunch of y'all on Twitter and all these other message boards and these Facebook groups that don't like Deion anyway. Because what you feel like he, did some shady stuff with Travis Hunter. So who cares if it gets 10 times worse? You can't take anything away from him. He's still the greatest DB in the history of the sport. He's one of the top 3 or 4 greatest players to ever play to wear that garnet and gold and put that spear on his helmet. So who cares if it's 10 times worse? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. It's 10 times worse than Taggart. So what? People calling him a nigga anyway. So what does it really matter if we just... I'm going to keep it a band with you. What does it matter? People don't like Deion anyway. Some people, diehard Florida State fans, think he's too arrogant even before the Travis Hunter situation happened. Bruh, don't matter. Don't matter. I'll tell you what would matter. He turns it around, he won't be a nigga no more now, will he? You win football games. Yeah, y'all laughing because I'm 100% true on that. That's like a lot of people don't like Deion anyway. That crap, high risk. What's the risk? We won 8. What is the risk? I don't get the risk on this high risk. Let's talk about high risk. Okay, let's see. Since Jimbo won 6 games his last season, Willie won 5 or 6. When's the last time FSU hasn't had a winning season since 2000 and what? What is the risk? We're like, what are we even talking about? What's the risk? That Deion wins the same amount of games that the other coaches have won since he's been here? 8 and 13. Thank you, Guns. What the hell is the risk? What is the risk? Man, there's no damn risk. We ain't won no games since we beat Michigan in the Orange Bowl. Ain't no damn risk in hiring Deion. Y'all got me turned up on the highway. I'm driving safe, though. I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Chad. About 30 minutes away. The risk is he have to win 11. You know he wouldn't. Bullshit. If Deion won, Mike Norvell won 3 games, and you got people capping for him. If Deion won 8 games his first season, we'd be damn elated. We don't even remember the last time we had an 8-win season. man. I feel like y'all just making excuses because y'all don't want Deion, and that's fine. I'm not saying Deion's the answer. I'm saying he could be one of the answers. Again, if you put me in, if you told me I had all these coaches available, Stoops, Aranda, and Deion, I'm gonna take a hard look at Deion, but I'd probably go with one of the other two options. But I'm definitely gonna take a hard look at Deion. I'm just saying Deion's an option. You gotta stop pretending like in 2023 Deion's not an option. Yeah, this Deion conversation and got me because we just making excuses. It's a high risk. What's the risk? Do we not see the state of this program for the last 7 years? There's no risk. Well, people are going to hate him 10 times worse. Man, half of the fan base already hates him. He going to be a nigga before you hire him. And if he fails, he's going to be a nigga afterwards. He's going to be a nigga before you hire him. But if he succeeds, he's going to go back to being prime time. Man, stop. I just say the things that some of y'all don't want to say. And that is a high risk. I'd rather not do that. But I hear you. No person. I just went to Jiffy Lube for a car inspection. Dudes were tripping on my Seminoles plate saying FSU used to be legit. Now they are a joke. You know, I ain't never had nobody come at me crazy. And my car got Florida State all over it. My truck got Florida State all over it. People don't come at me crazy. They know better. I slap them. As a matter of fact, I get a lot more gold nose than I get anybody talking crazy. I agree with everything you just said, but that last sentence. FSU's going to have no choice but to pay a coach $7 million plus because that's the going rate for a coach. They're going to have no choice. Mike Alford ain't got no choice. And Mike Alford hasn't given me any reason to believe that he's going to be cheap going forward. So I don't agree with that last part. Okay? You got the market gets reset. Well, you look at the market right now, and you look at what teams are paying for top-tier coaches, FSU's going to have no choice. People didn't think Florida State would pay Jimbo $5 million. At the time, $5 million was a big deal. When they paid Jimbo that money after that national championship, they made him one of the top 3 or 4 highest paid coaches in college football. The market gets reset all the time. FSU wasn't supposed to pay Jimbo that much. They got no choice. So I agree with everything but the last sentence. Yeah, they will. They ain't got no choice but to pay a coach that much money. It's funny, we put these expectations on him year 1 for 11 games, but 3 games is okay, or even 5. Ooh, Tony, don't say that. Don't say that. Hey, year 3, apparently 6. A lot of fans would be happy if Norvell just won 6 games this year. That's wild to me. 6 games is a good year, but I just read an article from Noles Game Day, and I'm not coming for Noles Game Day. I'm just want to tell y'all who I read the article or who wrote it in case y'all want to go check that out. I just read an article from Noles Game Day saying that Robert Scott is being mocked in the first. All these players that FSU potentially could get drafted. They had Robert Scott, Steven Dix, Maurice Smith, Akeem Dent. So at a minimum, you're telling me that Florida State, and first of all, majority of those players I don't agree with. I do agree with the Robert Scott one. I don't know if he's a first-round pick, but I believe he's an NFL caliber player. But you're telling me at a minimum, Florida State has 4 NFL players on its roster. Now I want you to go look around college football, and you show me teams that have a minimum of 4 NFL players, and show me where that team only won 6 games. Because you can't do it. You got 4 NFL players. I don't care what round they're in. If you have 4 NFL players on your roster, you don't just win 6 games. You don't just win 6 games. Deion next after 2, Polk driving slow. I'm driving, I'm going 80, bro. I'm going 80. Appreciate the $2. Bro, thank you. Everything that comes along with Deion. If you really want to stick to the X's and O's of it, I can't defend it. I can't defend it. But you give me the players first, we'll figure out the X's and O's. We'll figure out the X's and O's. What's the expectations? Probably have a winning record, obviously. Obviously, I'm talking about hiring Deion after everything around him is a more stable situation. So if we're talking about hiring Deion post Mike Norvell, oh yeah. Get us to a bowl game, bro, and we'll be good. Get us to a bowl game. Appreciate that, Chad. $2, best FSU show, period. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. We lost to JSU. I don't even need to read the rest of the comments, Hill Dog. Or was that Firewater? My bad. That's Firewater. I'm driving. But I don't got to read the rest of the comment. We lost to JSU. But we talking about Deion a high risk. But we lost to Jacksonville State. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. We lost to JSU. Norvell barely can talk press conferences. Recruits swerving us in epic proportion. Taggart still getting paid. Damn. No, I ain't gonna slap nobody over Mike, but I'll slap somebody over this logo though. I'm with you there. I ain't gonna slap nobody over Mike. I don't care about that. But you still gonna put respect on this logo. You still gonna put respect on his name. The university is bigger than Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell will be gone eventually one day. That spear gonna live on. So no, I ain't gonna slap nobody over Mike. Definitely not gonna do that. We should fire Norvell, hire Atkins in 03. 23, sorry. I don't know why I said 03. Nothing against Mike, but Coach Prime invented the NIL. Think about it. It must be the Money Song by Deion Sanders back in the day. I was high on Deion until he lost to South Carolina State. Well, you're going to lose games. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you to a degree. The talent level, you got out-coached in South Carolina State. I got it. It's going to happen. But he also has some, I don't know how big his staff is at Jackson State. I got it. I'm not saying Deion's the perfect candidate. Hell, Mark Stoops ain't the perfect candidate either, and neither is Dave Aranda. Yeah, and that's true too. Go back and watch the draft. I know for a fact they had a couple guys drafted. So it's not like that team didn't have talent. That team had talent and better coaching. Good point from Firewater. Like, let's not act like South Carolina State was absolutely buns, because some NFL teams apparently wanted some players off that squad. Um, what up? What up, Nick? Says Dog says exactly. Dion might have lost an HBCU national title game, but at least he was in the title game. FSU can't be the special teams coach right now. Ooh, speak that. At least he was in the title game, right? We can't even contend for the ACC title. We couldn't beat a Florida team that didn't have their head coach, and Emory Jones spotted us, 3 interceptions, and we still couldn't find a way to beat that team. Just got to call it for what it is, man. I would have made it to Oklahoma by now. Man, stop it. I'm in Dallas. I think I'm in Dallas. I'm like 15 minutes away from where I'm supposed to be, according to GPS. I'm Gucci. I'm Gucci. Oh no, I'm getting spammed. Hey, if you got a wrench, take care of that. I'm driving right now, and I would appreciate one of my wrench holders to block the Tinder adult dating site if you haven't done so already. Seeing as how I am on the highway. Now, if you want to hit that link and go find you one of these POGs on that Tinder site, be my guest. But I just need one of y'all to block that. Appreciate y'all. Mel Tucker making a lot of money up there at Michigan State. I don't know. I don't know if Mel Tucker would leave Michigan State for Florida State. They paying him a lot of money up there. Get a car or get a ticket listening to these dudes. Be safe on there. I'm good, man. I am safe. Appreciate you. I'm definitely not going to get a ticket. I've been in Texas, like I said. This isn't my first time being here. I've never gotten a ticket here in Texas. I've got more tickets in Hawaii than I've gotten in Texas. Texas, they don't give a damn how you drive. I've never gotten a ticket here in Texas. Never even been pulled over. These people in Texas drive like damn NASCAR anyway. Never had a problem in Texas driving. I don't think I'm. Me and Terrence might watch that. I don't necessarily think we're gonna watch it though. And Canelo, it's kind of an interesting fight. Uh, but Canelo has done a good job of being the modern day Floyd. He knows what he's doing when he's picking these opponents. I'm not saying he's ducking or running from everybody. This is going to be another great name on it. Another good win on his resume. Can't knock it, but Bivol probably tailor made for what Canelo wants to do. Like Canelo know what he's doing, man. And I don't think he can. I don't think Bivol can hurt him. I think that's Canelo's greatest trait. He has an iron chin. I saw Canelo be hurt one time, and that was way early in his career. He wobbled. But I'll be interested. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see. What's funny about that fight ward is Dabo doesn't believe in either one. Dabo doesn't believe in the NIL or the transfer portal. And you listen to him talk. And that's extremely interesting when you look at it. I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are not very high on Clemson going into this year. They don't use the transfer portal. And Dabo has been openly against NIL. Y'all wow. Y'all wow. Oh man. But we about to hit that 2-hour mark. And I don't really got nothing else. I'm about 12 minutes from where I'm supposed to be. So Terrence, if you're still watching, I'm closing in fast. And I don't know, man. Unless y'all got anything else for me. Nick says, "Polk, do you think we got a good squad but a bad coach?" I actually think this team is talented. Just look at the second, especially on the defensive side of the ball, man. I think you see a lot of talent on that side of the ball. But I've been one of the few people that's defending this talent for the last couple years. Y'all, stop telling me this team isn't talented. You can see it. Do we lack talent in certain aspects? Yeah. We do. But I think the team is talented. I'm excited, especially for this defense. And that's why I look at it and I don't. How can you sit here and go, Mike Norvell wins 6 games, he's good? How the hell is that a thing? When if you legitimately look at the roster and players that will probably be draftable prospects, Robert Cooper, Fabian Lovett, Jamie Robinson, Robert Scott, I would say one of those 2 linebackers, whether it be Bethune or Deloach, I believe one of those 2, if not both, but I'll give you one. That makes 5 players off the rip. Okay. Dennis Briggs, he's got NFL size. Let's see if he can stay healthy a full season and see what he puts on tape. But there's a fringe NFL caliber player. Jared Verse is an NFL DN prototype. And if he has the type of season at the Power 5 level that he had at Albany, he can mirror those numbers. He's probably a one and done guy because he's going to go to the league. Like, I just named 7 guys, majority of them on the defense, that off bat NFL teams are going to be intrigued by. NFL teams are going to look at Verse off of his measurables alone, off of his speed, his arm, his wingspan. Verse is going to get looks. Again, Briggs is NFL caliber size. Coop is an NFL defensive tackle in terms of the size. So it's like, show me a team in the NFL. Show me a team in college football that got 4, 5, 6 potential NFL players, but a 6-game season is all they were able to muster. Man, that crap don't happen. But for some reason, we'll make excuses for Mike. For some reason, we'll make the excuses for Mike. When's my exit? My exit is 4:29. They always doing construction in Dallas, man. I hate driving up here. The roads are narrow. They're building all the damn time. They've been building here for the last 10 years. They don't look like they're making any progress. Oh, yeah. Hey, I think if Verse can get 8+, he's gone. Because the NFL teams are going to jump on him. I mean, Verse is 6'4", 250. You running stride for stride with Jordan Travis, like he's Verse. If Verse put up similar stats to what he put up, Verse is gonna be a one and done guy. He gonna play tight end. If DJ want to play tight end, I'm all for that. Quarterback, no. We better off sticking with Duffy. I don't. Nope. I'll take him as a tight end though. He a big boy. He can play tight end. All right, little beetle, stop weaving in and out of traffic. It absolutely is right now. There's really nothing in the portal worth a damn, if you want to be honest. Remember, man, that COVID year did a lot of players some favors because that COVID year didn't count for a lot of people. So it was really a free redshirt year. Some players was in the COVID year, got that free year, and then still got a redshirt year. You got some 2 or 3 year like freshmen on some of these teams. Oh man, they're back. Y'all ain't gonna block Tinder. The Tinder. I'm sorry. If I try to block him, I'ma crash. All right, man. Hit that like button if you haven't hit it. I'm about to be in my destination here very shortly. I'm actually driving through like the heart of Dallas right now. The city's right there. Thank everybody who went on this long ride with me. Appreciate y'all. We had a fun conversation. We talked some Dion. We talked some Norvell. We talked a little transfer portal, but there's not really much to talk about. We just did our thing. You was riding and vibing. Appreciate everybody who came through. Hit that like button on the way out. If you did not, hit it on the way in. And as always, I appreciate y'all. I want to do more live streams, but it'll have to be more stuff like this because it just hasn't been anything that's really been worth talking about, honestly. But I believe they got some summer camps coming up. I think in June. I don't think anything's really happening this month, but I'm pretty sure in June we got some stuff coming up. We'll see what they do on the recruiting trail. I'm excited for the season just because I'm excited as always to watch this team. But if you ask me, I don't expect much from Mike and company on the recruiting trail. And maybe he can prove me wrong there. But as always, it's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles, and we got you, y'all. Holla at y'all another time.